guys, welcome back and thank you for joining me as always today. I really appreciate it. I am getting closer to the end of this build here on my 2010 Toyota FJ Cruiser 1-ton axle swap. And even though I'm getting close to the end, it feels like I've got a mountain of things to do. I've got a bunch of sheet metal to work with here. Some headers showed up today. Various size bump stops just showed up. I got a couple of these. I've still got a box of hydraulic stuff for my steering to install. And I've got the beginnings of my oil pan skid plate right here. And then there are a few odds and ends on top of all those. So I've still got a little bit of work to do. I just spent a little bit of time finalizing my rear bumper. As you may recall, it mounts to these mounting plates on the back of the frame. And then underneath, there's this mounting plate right here, which is what my hitch used to mount to, but I'm not going to have a hitch on this build, but I still wanted to use this for some center support. So I took my rear bumper and I added this arm onto it, which will attach to that mounting plate, and that should add a great deal of strength to the bumper, especially for things like recoveries, since this is a recovery point, and you know, I might have to get pulled out of something or pull somebody else out of something, so it's got to be strong. I don't want to be that guy in a video on the internet where he's doing something and his rear bumper comes flying off. That would be embarrassing. I've spent some time talking about this bumper before, but super low profile, looks pretty great. Here's some scarring from my welding that I painted over. That'll have to do for now. But great looking bumper. And here's what this new connection looks like underneath. It goes to this cross member that was added. So I added this part for extra strength, and it just connects to the frame over here and over here. So this should be plenty strong now. So last time I was trying to get my anti-rock sway bar installed, but I had those long straight arms on the sway bar and they weren't working. So I actually called up Rock Jock, and they sent me out some new arms. They allowed me to exchange the old ones, even though I ordered them months ago. And these ones are much better. They don't hit the coilover, and I'll end up using probably this hole anyway. Maybe trim this off, and it won't be anywhere even close to the coilover. And it's offset 1.7 inches, so it's far away from everything. Just perfect. So now I just need to get these links onto the end of the arm and then mount it like that to the axle with these weld-on tabs that go onto the axle, something like that. Alright, so these are just sitting here right now. I'm going to tack these brackets onto the axle on both sides. This rod that came with the kit is the longest rod that they have available. So I shaved 1.25 inches off of the rod to make it a little bit shorter. The sway bar should angle up a little bit in comparison to the frame, because you don't want this angle to become too straight, because that'll break the sway bar. Without the weight of the vehicle or the force of the coils on the coilovers, it'll be interesting to see just how much I can cycle the axle. I'm not sure how much it'll be able to move with the sway bar holding it like this, but obviously with the weight of the vehicle on it, there's a lot more force forcing it up and down. As I'm getting closer to full bump, it's getting further and further away from the coilover, so that's probably a pretty safe bet. I hope these tack welds hold. That could be a bit of a surprise if they decide to let go. So the driver's side is all the way up, and I'm gonna droop this passenger side and let's see what happens. Like I said, I hope those tack welds hold. Oh, that's all that it will let me do. And And yeah, my tack weld's let go. Dang it. But I now know that I can't fully cycle the axle with the sway bar connected without the weight of the vehicle working against it. But there it is with the axle fully drooped, the entire axle straight and dropped all the way down. And there's tons of clearance with the coilover and everything else looks good. So I would say the anti-rock sway bar is all set. Pretty simple. Well, the time has come to do the part of this build that I am probably the most scared of doing, and it is also the part of the build that I have the least idea of what the heck I'm doing, so it's a little scary. And that is making new sheet metal for the back of the FJ. I cut all this out of there to make room for everything, and man, cutting is easy. Cutting all that stuff out of there, no big deal. But I have zero experience making body panels, working with sheet metal, welding on sheet metal. So this is gonna be fun. First piece of sheet metal in there, just like that. And so now that this is here, I'm gonna make an arch of steel going this way. That'll be the bulk of the wheel well, and that'll attach to here, of course. And then eventually I'll trim this, and it'll look great. Okay, well, that is starting to look like something. It's got some rigidity now with this bend here and being stuck to this flat side over here. Yeah, now I just got to fill in this here and then come up with something to fill this in over here. But hey, I think we're off to a good start. Perfect. No, that's about right. Well, there you go. I built a box and it covers the wheel well. So that's basically its function. Doesn't look too bad for a guy who's never worked with sheet metal and never welded before working on this project. And here it is from the wheel side. Looking pretty good. So I'll have to put some finishing touches on it, of course, but it's pretty much done. I think when I'm all finished here, I'll probably just be covering everything in some kind of bed liner, so it'll look pretty dang good. Next time, I've got to do this side, and this side has an added challenge because I've got to run this fuel filler up from the tank and into the vehicle right here, so that'll be extra fun. But that won't be all in the next video because I've got little projects to do all over from front to back. So I'll just kind of be bouncing all over the vehicle, just getting this thing done and out that door. It'll fit right out that door, I'm pretty sure. So if you like this video, give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already, so I can join you every Monday and Thursday. And we'll see you on Thursday.